Hi, Mel Sadler here. Today I'm going to show you how to make this cute and colourful bird cushion using the Brother Scan and Cut Home and Hobby cutting machine. Also using the Brother NS35 easy to use sewing machine. If you're new to sewing or you're an experienced sewer, you'll love creating this easy project. And it gives me a great excuse to use my new favourite toy, the Scan and Cut. First of all, we need to assemble all of our tools. What I have here is the Brother Scan and Cut. I have a standard mat with a high-tack support sheet attached for cutting fabric. I also have a scanning mat here to scan in my pattern. I've got a Brother NS35 sewing machine, and I've also got here a pattern that has been downloaded from the Brother website at brother.com.au/craft. You will also need scissors, pins, an iron, a cutting mat and a rotary cutter for this project. As for materials, you'll need a piece of fabric for the cushion front, a piece of iron-on pellin. You're going to need some backing fabric, some scraps of fabric for applique, some fusible web, some threads for sewing, and you will also need a cushion insert. Now we're in business. What I'm going to do is show you how to use the Brother Scan and Cut machine to cut out your applique shapes. First, you will need to get your applique shape pattern, place it into the scan mat, and load the scan mat into your cutting machine. What we're going to do now is scan in our images by using Scan to Cut data. What I'm going to do now is select an outline region so I can pick up all of the lines that have been scanned into my cutting mat. I'm going to save that into my machine, and it's come up with a file name. I'm pressing OK. I'm now going to go home and into my patterns, into my saved data, into my machine, and retrieve my pattern. I'm going to unload my scan mat. Now what we're going to do is cut out our applique shapes using our scraps of fabric. I've ironed on my fusible web onto my fabrics, and I'm just going to place them onto my standard mat that has my high-tack support sheet attached. Now what I'm going to do is load my cutting mat into my machine. I'm now going to take an image of the mat so I can see where I have my fabric placed. Then I can move all of my shapes to where I want them to be cut out. Now I'm just going to move my shapes so I can place them where I would like them to be cut out. Now that we've got our images placed on our machine where we need them to be cut out, I'm going to take my blade holder. This is my standard blade holder, and I'm going to set the depth for cutting fabric. On the blade, we have the numbers from 1 to 12. This will determine how deep the blade actually cuts. On mine, I'm setting it for 5 to cut fabric. I'm going to load it into my blade holder. And in my machine, I actually have pressure settings. What I'm going to do now is have a look at my pressure settings and make sure that they're correct. My cut pressure here is saying 4, which is what I need for cutting fabric. Now that I have my blade and my pressure settings correct, I can cut out my shapes. Now that our applique pieces have been cut, I'm going to remove my mat by unloading it. And I'm going to take the spatula that comes with the machine and remove the excess fabric, and then remove our shapes. Now we're going to get our cushion front ready for the applique. We're going to take our piece of pellin and place it with the adhesive side up onto our ironing surface. Then we're going to take our main piece of fabric, placing it over the top. What we're now going to do is with our iron, we're just going to set in place the fabric on top of the pellin. Once this has been done, we now need to lay out our bird applique shapes that we've cut out. We need to be mindful of leaving enough room for our leaf pattern, so I'm going to start by placing the leaf pattern that I have cut out from the instructions. This is a raw edge applique, so please do not overlap your shapes. Once we're happy with the placement of our bird, we can now go and set it with the iron. Now what I'm going to do is transfer my leaf design by tracing around the shape I have pre-cut out using a water-soluble marker. So now we're going to thread our Brother NS35 sewing machine. Following the numbers that are on the top of the machine, I'm going to thread 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is straight down, 6, there's a little hook above the needle. We're taking it up in our thread guide here and into number 7, and we're cutting it off at number 8. Now all we need to do is press our needle threader and we pull the loop of thread at the back. Now that our machine is threaded, what I'm going to do is select a triple stitch and adjust my needle position so I can move my needle closer to the edge of my applique fabric. Now that we've got our machine set up, it's time to sew. Now our cushion top is finished, it's time to put everything together. Now what we're going to do is take our backing piece and fold it in half, wrong sides together. We're going to lay the pieces on top of our cushion top, marrying up our raw edges. Now what we're going to do is pin them in place. Now that we've got our backing pinned in place, we're going to stitch it all together. Sew a 1 centimetre seam around your cushion. Once you have done that, change to a zigzag or overlock stitch and secure the raw edges. Now we're going to turn our cushion inside out. To get a nice even corner, if you place your thumb into the corner of the cushion and fold over your edges that you've just sewn, pinching it together, you can push it out and you'll get a nice square corner. Repeat this on all corners. Once all your corners have been turned out, now we can turn the cushion all the way through and we have our cushion cover. Now for our cushion insert. We place it inside, squash it up into the corners, and there we have it. Look at that beautiful bird. All I did was scan, cut and stitch. Too easy.